Hello everyone, welcome into Zelda Speedruns for the Zelda 2 Randomizer 2023 Standard Tournament. This is Swiss Round 5. We've got Xarnax42 versus Valence. Here on commentary are Star and Elendar, and tracking is Patrick. Enjoy the stream, and I'm going to hand it over to our commentators.
Alright, hello everyone. How are you doing, Elendar?
I'm doing good. It's a nice evening. Just getting started on it and get to start off with some Zelda 2.
Yep, got ourselves a 2-2 match here between Xarnax and Valence. Should be a pretty interesting one. You, of course, are exceptionally familiar with Xarnax. I know, long-time runner of the community. Valence is relatively new, but has been doing fairly well so far. Did pretty well in upstarts, and has taken 2 wins so far here in Swiss.
Yeah, 2-2 is a solid result. Potentially going to be 3-2 coming into brackets. Probably just where these runners are in standings. They're just playing for placement. I don't think either of them are likely to get the bye on 3-2. There's very few buys that are coming for 3-2s for the first round of brackets, but placement is still good. And also just the fun of racing and the value of winning a race as we're off here with Divergence on the first screen. Valence choosing to lose 1 frame by going right.
It looks like we're at the southern end of a dried canyon with raft next to Star, as well as Mita with Thunder in it. Okay, game.
Yep, both runners gonna pick up their hints and check the spell hint as well. Barba slithers with the boots.
That's a good hint.
Yeah, how important that is going to depend on what our east shape up. We're going to get like an Islands East. Going to need to go into early 6 to get some boots.
Quite possible, because we don't need a booth here. This is maybe not a dried canyon, but it looks like one at first glance at least. It's either that or Vanilla Lake, I think.
Could be Vanilla Lake, could be. I saw a Death Mountain hint of some kind of Valence aside. The flute? Okay, that's probably not important. Could still be Caldera. It looks like they started all the way in the southwest corner.
They're right on the coast, basically, yeah. Well, not right on the coast, but like from Star, you could immediately see the raft tile there on the southwest corner. But I don't know. We'll see. It's narrow enough. The map seems narrow enough to potentially be a north-south dried canyon. We'll see here. Jump is a nice early pickup, though.
Yeah, especially if it's castable, you can go through and pick up an early downstab. At 69, not enough.
Nope. But I expect both runners are going to probably head north from here, as Valence does walk it out, and Xarnax is going to head north. Just up A, actually, sorry. And we do have Trophy Cave next to start, why not?
Yeah.
Okay, Xarnax probably will also head over here. Or is going to head straight north, because Stonehenge is here.
Alright.
With a hammer on it.
There are 2 different caves leading north into a mountain from here, as Valence finds the glove. Okay, well. We're rapidly approaching easy mode seed.
Yeah, and that looks like a caldera now that you say that, because that is very much a wall of mountains to the north of Rudo here, which has life in it. Well,
yeah, unless it could be caldera, could be vanilla-like still. Sometimes you get the horizontal vanilla-like, so the big mountain range in the middle, but...
Spellspool and Raro didn't quite catch where, just know that it's somewhere on the southern half of the map, because neither runner's taken a pass through any place cells.
Rebonak rides with a heart, yeah. Go west to find the trophy.
Not vanilla, since we did see that from Valence. But yeah, a lot of hints so far. Jeez.
Yeah, a lot of hints. A lot of hints for things that aren't actually useful, but...
We did actually see a town there from Xarnax's side. Is just to the northeast of Rauru here, so we'll be seeing that shortly. Spindle is what, 91 there?
Yeah, Magic 1 gonna make it difficult to cast almost anything.
Pretty much. Yeah, 91. And we're gonna see that palace here. Looks like we'll have to take... GP is our first palace of the seed. Well, we're not doing that anytime fast. Kinda nice to know it's right by start, I guess.
Yeah, GP next to start opens up a lot of options as far as routing, because, if GP is like way at the end of the east or something like that, you really want to minimize how much you're going to have to up A in the end, as
Oh.
Valence finds
Oh.
one, just a connection to Maze, just hanging out in the middle here.
Just, yeah, middle of the map. Okay.
But yeah, with GP next to start, you sort of do what you want for routing and just up A at the end.
Gonna pick up that hammer. We did see a connector cave just to the east of the west connector cave on Maze Island, so that's gonna be another way to another continent. We're gonna take a quick look here.
Got reverse jump and Parappa, it looks like. Oh no, reverse jump and reverse fairy.
Okay. 50-50 as to which one you take. We know one's gonna dump you on the caldera, because I did just about see a southern exit to that caldera. Or what I assume is caldera. Might still be vanilla, as you said, at the edge of Valence's screen. The other... They could both work, or one of them could be north-south caldera?
Okay, so this is the thing that technically has been in the game since 4.4, but I discovered a bug a while back, and as of 4.26, they are now equally likely to occur, whereas before they were basically bugged and impossible to occur in Death Mountain.
What, north-south calderas?
Yeah, north-south calderas in Death Mountain specifically were buggy and were technically possible to occur, but almost never did.
P3 or 6 here in the western caldera. Yeah, I was like, I don't think I remember seeing DM north-south calderas. They're almost always east-west.
Mirai had one screenshot of one occurring ever, and was like, I know this is possible, and I haven't really looked into it, and so we did some work on it. So as of 4.26, all biomes that are capable of being horizontal or vertical are exactly 50-50 to be either, instead of weird biased randomness that sometimes just makes things impossible.
Yeah. Valence getting some farming some levels off the Iron Knuckles here. We did see from Valence that this is one of the calderas where the palace is on one of the exits, so the other of those two passive caves is your way north. Probably.
Yeah, thankfully it's reverse jump cave, and so they won't have to farm up a cast of jump, though given that both runners are coming back in here, I strongly suspect Magic 2 is enough to cast jump. We're going to see some down snaps.
23 is a considerable drop in cost.
Yeah, that's a lot, and I definitely approve both runners, exploring everything they can and being like, all right, you know what, it's down step time.
Yeah. They've both seen the entirety of the southern half of this west, basically. Xarnax took a quick look in Death Mountain. It doesn't seem like he liked what he saw. Don't blame him. He's gonna...
Valence is a little bit of time not up-Aing here. Okay, it figures out eventually.
Yeah. Alright, Xarnax is going to take the 50-50 between these two passers. That's going to send him to the Caldera, potentially, or no?
Yeah,
There's really no obvious choice between those two, to be honest. Oh, there's a hammer block cave we missed earlier.
Oh yeah, totally missed that.
Well, Valence finds it.
And it's Parappa Cave, so 3 different paths are going north here.
This is at least not one of the calderas where the palace is blocking one exit, and then you have to take a continental connector around the other way.
Yeah, and it looks like Parappa Cave leads you to basically the same place as Reverse Jump did, just way faster.
Basically, yeah. And Valence is going to also take Parappa after doing a quick double check of the southern half. Glove is the southernmost item cave on the west, right on the coast. Xarnax skipped it for I'm not sure what reason. Hope he goes back.
It was Trophy Cave.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know Xarnax saw a Trophy Cave. It's right on the coast, and they saw it like in the first minute or two, but might have just forgotten.
Yeah.
75?
Raft I think so. Raft is a nice spot because we've already found both of our connector caves and still no way to the east, so Raft pretty likely to take us east.
It's either the Raft or the bridge, and if it's the bridge, we're gonna have to find a coast somewhere.
Yeah, and given that they sort of looked a little, I know Xarnax looked at least a little bit through Maze Island, a bridge is likely to be in Death Mountain.
Yeah, I think if a bridge is in Maze Island, it's gonna be on one of the... It's gonna be somewhere further south.
Yeah.
It could be on the northern coast of the west, that would be a bit weird.
Yeah, we'd have like just a junction west where everything leads to everyone else from the west. As Xarnax finds a key in the drop pool.
Okay,
Worth picking up. We'll see in just a second here what Xarnax gonna find in Medicine Cave. It's the trophy, which we knew was in the west.
Yep. We've seen, what, 4 of our 6 items on the west now?
Yeah, we just need Magic Container Cave and I think Heart Cave.
Looks like it according to Xarnax's personal tracker. He's also missing Trophy Cave, but we know what that is.
Yeah, I really hope he finds that. Missing.
He's physically seen it.
Yeah.
You might have just forgotten it, which does happen. It's a bit of an ouch, though.
And it's one of those things where once he clears this whole northern section of the west, he's going to be like, okay, I've seen the whole west. I know I still have an item cave somewhere. Where is this trophy cave? And hopefully that jogs his memory to say, oh, I saw it. It's right next to start. Let me go grab that.
Yeah. Here's one of our 2 remaining item caves besides Trophy Cave for Xarnax.
Oh, some rough enemies. Spell still not castable.
No, down to his last life. Gonna have to be a little careful here to avoid game overing.
Yeah, and still life 1 for him. Valence on life 3, so gonna be a tad spooky.
Where is our final item cave anyway? I'm trying to figure out where that could be.
Yeah, maybe like
because the one that is it just south of here?
Yeah,
actually?
I think it's that east-facing cave just south of this one.
Yeah, because I was like, I think we've seen everything on the west between our runners. That is a nice magic jar. And
yeah.
I think we've seen most of the north at this point, because this cave's in the northwest corner of the north.
Yeah, and 200 points from these red die is going to give both our owners quite a bit of experience. Xarnax jumping up to life 3 and attack 3.
That's going to be 3-2-3 for Valence.
Yeah, so Xarnax and Valence sort of taking different routes to get there, but ending up in the same place experience and map progress wise.
Dropping a whopping 2 points, by the way, in cost from his magic.
Oof.
It's got him 91 to 89. Thanks!
Very, very castable for sure. One more container, we'll see. Okay, yep, and
I guess that's the I guess that's the game compensating for cutting the cost of the jump spell in third. Magic 1 to Magic 2, because that went from 69 to 23, which is rather silly. Heart Container isn't the worst thing to get.
Yep, it's just the vanilla Heart Container Cave in the place that we thought it was. So that's going to be it for exploration of the West. But Xarnax, maybe forgetting about that trophy cave, is going to at least stick his head around and see if he can find anything else where Valence immediately going to pick up a...
I was going to say, the only other thing to do up here is P5, and I'd be mildly concerned if he decided that was a fun idea to do right now.
Yeah, I think he must have forgotten about Trophy Cave.
That's an island's east.
Yep. And we're going to be looking for those boots. We know they're in P6, but is the palace in the Caldera P6?
Gee, thank you. Our hints are good. Unfortunately, that one's a bit late.
Yeah, I mean, we've all the hits were for like pretty reasonable items. They're just, you know, I mean, like if Xarnax goes back and he sails to the east, the very first thing he's gonna find is a hint that said, "Go back to west." Don't be dumb.
Check Caldera first, though.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Slamu. It looked like we were perhaps towards the western edge of the map because I didn't see anything further west. We might be kind of northish, but we'll have to see because the challenge with getting dumped out in an islands biome is you don't really know where you are. In any biome, really, but islands are especially hard because you don't know where you are relative to the rest of the map, and it can be hard to spy nearby islands on an islands map.
Yeah, normally, like, if you, like, land and you see, like, there's a bunch of water to the side of you, you're like, oh, I'm on the coast, this must be, you know, the edge of the map or something like that. Here, it's, nope. And Xarnax picks up, I think Xarnax has 2 keys now. I think he might stick his head into 3 or 6 and see if at 6, see if he can snipe out some boots. If he can, it's going to be a big advantage in the east.
Oh, for sure. It does look like we are northwest corner-ish here for Valence. So we got a pair of east-facing caves, both of which are pass-throughs. Woof.
Yeah, and Xarnax immediately going left, pretty clearly indicating he's going item hunting. Back in the day, in the pre 4.0 days, item caves were left all the time, and I know Xarnax has played quite a bit in those days as well. Nowadays, either direction equally likely to be the item. I guess right slightly less likely because the right could be a boss, but going left works for Xarnax. He's going to find his item here as soon as he recovers from this death. Oh no!
Oh, that hurts. So both pass-through caves on that island that you next to the raft that the raft tiles takes you to the same island in the north middle of the map. Here looks like for Valence, which had P2 on it. Not gonna dip it just yet. Gonna head south into Rhythm Feedback Cave.
Where is Xarnax going? Wasn't that the item room? I think that's the item room.
That's what I thought.
No, I'm wrong. This is the
apparently
item
not.
room.
Okay. Well, he knows better than we do, apparently.
This is the item room, and this is 6. Those are the boots.
Unfortunately, we're gonna have to find the other side of that room because.
Yeah, fortunately, he does know now that he needs to take an up elevator in order to.
Jar, by the way, for Valence, I think didn't catch you. I know he's got 6 jars now.
He's thinking about using a key. He is going to use a key here. He has 1 more remaining. So if he can find a glove block.
Oh, that.
What? Was there even another path in here? Does that just mean that the boots are glove blocked?
It wasn't the dead. If it that left wasn't the item room, that had to be the dead and fake item room, I think. And then it was into that. So
yeah, Xarnax
it
is
looks
gonna.
like our Valley of Death is basically central on the map because Valence is heading straight into it.
Good news, Xarnax gets a refund on that key, but this out of logic dip to try and steal some boots, unfortunately, looking like it's not going to pay off.
Yeah, River Devil to the left of Valence's current position, by the way. He decides to not go into the Valley of... Or they decide to not go into the Valley of Death. This east map looks really quite gnarly.
Okay, well, at least Xarnax got 2 keys out of his recovery there. So he's got all the way up to 3 keys, so he can do some more out-of-logic palace hunting if he wants, and I think Valence just got sick of doing those islands, and unfortunately, I think he's going to do the same gamble. He's going to try to go to that 3 or 6, hope it's 6, hope
he's going to Mace Island. He hasn't seen the other connector. He doesn't know this is a DM connector. Like, from his perspective, that could have been to a different part of the east.
I'm kind of surprised neither runner has checked the maze.
And figuring is probably basically dead center is the Valley of Death, is what the east map looks like right now. I think the northeast corner is probably boots blocked. The middle of the western side, you have to get back to the raft hall and head south, I think. It's probably the other side of that River Devil. I don't necessarily think he's required, but... Ugh.
Yeah,
I don't blame Valence for wanting to backtrack through multiple islands and at least one pass-through cave to get back to where the raft hall was to go south from it just yet.
Well, especially since there's so many other places, and there is a bridge here. Just see where that takes Valence.
It's DM or the maze, or the east. Funny animations. Sorry, that's DM.
Back to DM.
Yeah. That's an ouch.
Yeah, and so Valence, I think, gonna probably just keep checking for the other 2 items here in the maze. They're not gonna be that useful because we know where the flute and boots are.
Any key would be good for him here, though.
Yeah, any key would be really nice. Any key also does some really weird things to the logic. Like, if Valence felt like Xarnax finally, after getting the hint, goes back and gets his glove, a lot of the times islands ends up being boots blocked in some form or another, just because not everything is guaranteed to connect with bridges. Right. But now that we know that you need the glove to I guess they both have. I was just Xarnax not having the glove totally threw me for a loop there. I keep forgetting that it was absolutely free from the beginning and he just never got it.
Yeah. He just forgot the cave existed until he found 10, and I
Yeah,
was like,
so
oh, maybe I should go do that.
Yeah, so with 3 keys in hand, again, this is completely out of logic. The logic will not require you to get any item for a palace until you have the any key or fairy spell. But I mean, he knows it's the boots, and with 3 keys in hand, he'll be able to take them. And logic be damned, if Xarnax is going back to Islands East, he wants boots.
Yeah, I think it's entirely fair from his perspective to decide, okay, boots are any keys, on the east, or maybe it's buried in Maze Island, which it likely is for Valence. So he unfortunately is down to no life and no health, and on their last night decides to obey. But
yeah, but from Valence's
map looked pretty gross.
With Valence following the logic, there has to be a fairy spell or an any key accessible, either as that last item on the maze, or somewhere accessible on this east.
Did I see one item on the maze? I totally missed it.
We may not have seen either item on the maze.
That's what I thought.
Valence's tracker unfortunately doesn't show which caves they've found, as we get a 3-eyed rock and a palace sighting and a water tile real quick when you go south on the east.
Yeah, if I've been keeping track of things, I think the River Devil should be just east of here, but I might have lost track. That is P1, which means that P4 is our Valley of Death Palace. So I don't have to worry about going in there then, which is nice for a bit. Reflect will also be here somewhere. Fire was in Darunia, according to Valence's personal tracker. Child saying Child is in the east. Looks like we're gonna head elsewhere. This island's enormous.
Yeah, wow. Absolute green from Xarnax. He gets a free 500 points, and despite being on 0 life, decides to take attack 4 instead of life 4.
It takes a death for that.
Yeah.
Naburu has Reflect for Valence, so not what he wants right this not what they want right this second, but you'll take it. It will be recorded eventually. They did see the Valley of Death. It's basically in the middle of the map, so whenever they get back there, they'll be fine. They'll probably clear it with P2, since P2 is more or less straight north of the valley.
Yeah, but important questions remain. Where's that fairy spell? And also, how long is this P6 going to be for Xarnax trying to find these boots?
It's quite the troll here, because you see the boots. If you go right, it's like the 3rd room or something from start.
Yeah, but that doesn't. Unfortunately, that doesn't tell you anything. Rooms can connect anywhere, and Xarnax thinking about whether he wants to spend a key here, decides against it because he's got another route he can take.
Looks like it. We've got ourselves a south-facing cave here for Valence, which is a pass-through, which we probably don't need given there's a bridge heading south from this rather large island.
Yeah, but
this should be tracking towards the southwest corner now.
Yeah,
I am pretty sure this is the western end of the map.
Yeah, with this being when you're on the east and you see a desert bridge, it's the double Darunia encounter, and that pass-through cave actually probably would have been a little bit faster.
Yeah, although one of the risks with that is that you potentially can, and the cave's other end may just get you dead-ended, so it doesn't look like that's the case here. Child is a look at you fairy, or fire, sorry, which might be the thing that we need. There's the other side of that pass-through.
Yeah, Xarnax taking the drop instead of using that key facing left, and is forced to spend a key anyway.
I think that looked like it was just in that drop room he saw a minute ago.
It absolutely was. So
that looks familiar, really familiar.
Yep, he was. Yep, and what's funny is that taking that drop could have allowed him to bypass the key door, but since he didn't realize it, I mean, it's difficult to realize.
It was possible it could have been a duplicate of that drop room. Yeah.
So he could have not spent the key there, but I think he's still got 2 more in reserve. He only needs 1 to get the item, so
as long as he can make it there, yeah.
Yep. Here's a down elevator, but Xarnax knows he needs an up elevator for the item. He should still check the down elevator though. Even if that is
okay. Valence is boots blocked off the east. Off the eastern side of the east, it looks like. Because the raft tile dumps you in the far northwest corner. Heading straight south and east, heading straight east gets you to P2. Heading south gets you to the north side of the Valley of Death, where the entrance is. Heading straight south from the raft tile along the western coast gets you that big island with Three-Eyed Rock, Naburu, and P1. And then the rest. I think New Kasuto and Old Kasuto are both boots blocked somewhere on the eastern side of the map.
Yeah, and if that's
possibly on Three-Eyed Rock.
Okay, here's an up elevator for Xarnax. If that's true and you are boots blocked out of the east, that means that the any key is basically guaranteed to be in that maze.
We're running out of places for it to be. Let's see what fire is here though for Valence. 60 is castable, not by much, but it is castable.
Attack for one cycle jackhammer from Xarnax, showing
nice.
off those vanilla skills.
Unfortunately for Valence, that was not Failure Fairy. It's also not Fire Jump. I'm not sure what it is, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, and Xarnax, he's only got one key left. He could have put the key in and just been like, alright, I'm just gonna complete this palace and we'll come back for the boots later, but he really wants those boots. No?
He does. He's seen that island's east, and we know from Valence that this east is pretty terrible, to be honest.
Yeah, and okay, Xarnax, I don't think maybe you can make like a super jump up to the top without dash. Yeah, I know if you have dash and jump, you could just jump over the thing and avoid spending a key.
Oh, never mind. Apparently, according to chat, Xarnax is 10 experience from a level. That's fine.
Yeah, but I honestly, like, I'm not sure that you want to kill this boss instead of getting these boots, right? Xarnax knows that he's got Islands East. He knows that there's not very many things that are left. This, even though this isn't logically accessible immediately, he knows that almost certainly the thing that he's supposed to be doing logically is finding an any key and then coming back here anyway, so...
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure... I'm fairly certain, based on what we've seen of this east from Valence, he's currently in the north middle part of the map. He just passed by P2 a couple times there, verifying it's there, I guess, or something. This will drop him on the north side of the Valley of Death. That River Devil is useless. That just takes us back to where the Three-Eyed Rock was, I'm pretty sure.
Oh no. Xarnax
and I think Valence is confirmed. Yeah, go ahead.
Xarnax has found an up elevator that almost certainly leads to the item room, and it's key blocked. He is one key short of being able to go and get those boots. And
probably hard regretting placing that gem right now.
Yeah, he's gonna spend his key to check, and that's a good thing to do. Make sure. But yeah, if he hadn't spent that key after the drop down, he would be good. And instead, he's gonna try and farm this Mew for a bit. He knows that there are keys in the small enemy pool, but this is a slow grind.
Yeah, Valence on the other hand hasn't really seen keys in the drop pool, and is probably heading in P6 hoping it's A6 and B the item's accessible. Unfortunately, it's 6. On the other hand, this item is not very friendly, as Xarnax is finding out the very hard way.
Yeah, we know that Xarnax came in with 3 keys. He used one on the boss, and he wasted one on that door that he could have skipped with the drop. So even if Valence skips the boss, they're going to need at least 3 keys. And I don't think they have them. Alright, we've got Robostar again briefly. But Xarnax does eventually farm out his key. He gets the boots, and I'm sure he's celebrating right now.
That is a big find for Xarnax, yeah. Oh man, there are a couple keys along the way. That is true, Tafile.
Yeah.
There is one of the fake, like in the dead end down on the left side here. I know, for instance.
Yeah, but Xarnax picked all of those keys up, and still, like, even including this key, I think Valence is probably going to need to get lucky with at least 1 key from the drop pool to even be able to minimally clear this palace.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like the maze is such easy checks and neither runner wants to do them. It's weird to me.
Valence took a look around the north. Valence did a decent amount of it, like they've cleared the northern side, I think, and around the connector caves, and then did walk all the way down, I think, the eastern side of Maze Island to get to the raft and the bridge side in the southwest corner. Ooh, there's a key. That's good.
Okay.
So Valence has seen at least a decent amount of it. I'm just not sure why they didn't finish clearing it. There's the medicine for Xarnax. Not sure where this was for Xarnax, because Valence is about to see those boots, but Valence did not pick up that medicine earlier. I don't remember where this was.
I don't know. Xarnax sort of walked in, and as you do when you have the boots in an island's biome, immediately just started walking across the nearest river.
Yep, because that's how you... oh, it was on this... Oh no, Valence just never went east enough to spy old Kasuto with fairy in it.
And this is why Xarnax took
Valence
this
saw
boot
the
gamble.
western end of the... Valence saw the western side of this island, just didn't go far east enough. I thought there was nothing over here, but nope.
Yeah.
That's an ouch.
Yeah, and this is why Xarnax took this boots gamble, is that Valence spent all this time on the east and somehow still missed this. And despite the fact that it took a while for Xarnax to get those boots... Oh, it was on the other end of the river, Devil.
No, the western side of this island is straight south from the raft tile.
Okay. But
Valence but the raft straight south from raft tile is the western side of the island, which is really quite big, by the way.
Yeah.
The eastern side of the island is the river devil and the medicine, Cape Bridge to the medicine, and that old Kasuto. Valence just never checked the eastern side of that island for whatever reason. Oof.
yeah. Well, Valence has gotten a little bit lucky with key drops. I don't know how many they have, but we'll see what they decide here. Again, it's going to be a question when you get to the boss. If you only have one key, do you spend the key clearing the palace, or do you spend the key getting the boots?
Given that Valence has seen so much of this east, I would absolutely go do the boots.
Yep,
They
and
do open that door,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
they didn't take the drop though, so they didn't know.
Yeah. There's Reflect for Xarnax, and hopefully Valence gets... Well, Valence should eventually get back to old Kasuto, and hopefully that cave with the medicine in it too, because medicine's required for Thunder, most likely. Still not sure what fire is linked to, admittedly.
Also, we still don't know where this down elevator goes. I was really surprised Xarnax didn't check it when he first saw it. Looks like it leads to more 6, unfortunately.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
gonna
there's a
cost
key down
Valence
this
some
way
time.
at least for Valence. There's Reflect for Xarnax. I hope there's a key at least for Valence down here.
Oh, and this also led to another up elevator, so this also could have been our route to the item. We know that it's not, but
It could have been, yeah.
instead it's just going to be a whole lot of wasted time for Valence. Thankfully, not any wasted keys yet.
No. This is P1 for Xarnax.
Valence, you've got jump spell. Oh.
Is that turn on? Yeah, I'm gonna go turn on. I'll hopefully get that key.
Yeah, Valence gonna turn around. Getting this key can be a suicide. Oh, okay. So it can be a bit of a suicide trip, but especially if you have jump spell, it's pretty easy to, while you're walking across the bottom crumble bridge, you just jump a couple times, and then you can jump back across it and then jump spell your way out of the pit.
Gotcha. Unfortunately, Valence is down to their last life, having taken a death to that blue stealth this night, so it's gonna leave the key behind.
Yeah, Blue Stalvo's a rough enemy to put in that little confined space there.
Yeah, they were on 0 health too, so I'm not sure which enemy it was would have much mattered, as long just about anything would have KO'd them there. So yeah, they can be pretty hard to dodge as well. But P1 is so dark, it's almost, it's kind of hard to see here for Xarnax.
Yeah, unfortunately Xarnax sees a key but doesn't have enough magic to jump spell up and get it, so he's going to have to pass it by, and it looks like even at Magic 5, Fairy Spell's still relatively expensive. I don't know if that's 2 casts that leaves him in nothing. Oh, Valence unfortunately taking a game over, and yeah, I think
that. I don't. I guess they're going to go any key hunting. I guess, but that's going to be between Maze Island and Death Mountain for that choice.
Yeah, I think Maze Island.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Maze Island, especially we already explored like half of it. I think you have to give it another shot. There's still 2 items there. You've already checked half of it. Even if it's a little hard, like it's gotta be better than Death Mountain.
On the other hand, Death Mountain's got a flute, and you've seen Red Rock.
Yeah. Also, we do know that Fairy Spell is right next to that River Devil. So if Valence thinks that that if Valence hasn't put together where that River Devil leads, if they do get a flute and then go back to that River Devil, they will be rewarded with Fairy Spell.
Yeah. Water tile here for Xarnax is right next to 3-eyed rock, and has a heart container on it. Okay.
Yeah, okay. 6 heart containers, 4, 5, 6. Xarnax looking very safe for these palaces.
Xarnax is technically more or less in go mode, actually, now that I think about it.
Have we seen both palaces in the east?
P1 is he just beat P1, P2 is in the middle of the northern
Okay. So yeah,
P4 is the valley. So yes.
So yeah, we know all the palaces are accessible. Yeah, so those boots basically just cracking the seat open for Xarnax, and he's going to be able to go through.
Quite substantial lead because it's not hard to explore this east. P2 is right there. In fact, speaking of.
Yeah. I'm a little curious how much Fairy still is. I know. Right after casting Fairy, Xarnax was on almost no magic. What I don't know is whether that was 1 cast or 2. We're going to find out quickly. Okay, he does have a little over 2 casts, so he should be fine even without an any key.
Yeah, that looked to be right about, 30 there? Didn't quite catch the number.
Yeah, it should be 30 or 29 or something like that. And Xarnax making the 3-tile jump look easy, but of course this vanilla room, you want to make the 3-tile jump because you're like, oh, I don't want to waste my magic casting Fairy, but there's a key door there. You gotta cast Fairy anyway. This is I believe the only key door in vanilla P6.
20. That was 29 Fairy, by the way. I didn't actually catch the menus.
Okay. Yeah, and Xarnax being smart there, finding it's just a dead end with a key in the next room, picks up the key, but then up A is because if you wanted to backtrack, he would immediately spend a key. Of course, as soon as I say that, there's a key door right next to start for Xarnax. But it's okay. He'll be able to jump spell now. Or no, that's not the same room. I thought that was the room with the key.
Both items right next to the bridge, by the way, for Valence. That was the one up on the first, and we'll see what the second is. We know it doesn't have to be the any key, and it isn't. Between Fairy being accessible now that they know that, and fortunately, though, I think they're off the DM, because that's the other place I think the any key can be.
Yeah, and again, I think they
have the hammer, they know flute's there, they've seen 3-eyed rock, I get it, it's just painful from our end.
Yeah, and the only saving grace is maybe picking up that flute will trigger Valence to go back to River Devil and get the Fairy spell right next to it.
3-eyed rock more so than the devil, they've seen the other side of the devil.
Yeah. If they've seen both sides of the devil, I don't know, not by the town. I don't know. Navigating islands
they
east
haven't
is really
directly
hard.
seen both sides of the devil, but they should know they've seen the other side of it. That's correction.
Okay. Unfortunately, because there are 2 different entrances into this Death Mountain, it's also possible this is segmented. It's certainly happened before, and if that's the case, unfortunately, this is going to take a very long time for Valence to search through.
Yeah, I believe we did see the caldera briefly earlier from somebody. I don't remember who. It is a pass-through caldera. There are both northern and southern exits to it.
Okay, that makes it less likely to be segmented, but Death Mountain can certainly do what it wants.
Yeah. Valence is kind of just taking a look around the southern side of the map, which isn't looking very promising. That cave to the right of them there might be helpful.
Yeah, maybe if they had boots, although it looks like that coast sort of just goes off into nowhere. Of course, if they had boots, they wouldn't be here at Death Mountain.
Yeah, that's the other problem. But Xarnax is just in Palace and Go mode, basically.
Okay, rock sighting for Valence. That's the flute. Do they keep going looking for Hammer Cave?
Looks like they're at least going to take a look around here. This might be it. Nope.
Yeah, and this may be segmented.
Yeah, Ferry down to 22 is actually pretty nice. Good cash top file. It's only 3 casts at 22, but that's... Glove Lock is not a problem for Xarnax as Valence gets dead-ended. Yeah, it would have taken a few pass escapes to get back to the bridge and then restart the basically again from there. It's better to up A, I think.
Yeah.
And this should be them going back for Three-Eyed Rock.
Yep.
We know Three-Eyed Rock is not going to be a whole lot of anything important just because Xarnax has already found everything they need. Valence, it is on the same island as what they do need, which is that Darunia is... Old Kasuda is just slightly east of there. Valence has lost track of the fact they should have seen both sides of that devil. Oof.
Yeah, and
or they
thankfully,
should know
though,
what's on the... They've seen
yeah.
the devil from the eastern side, and they should know they've seen the island that is the western side of the devil. Correction. But that's a tricky thing with island maps, is it can be really hard to tell where stuff is relative to each other. And sometimes you just end up losing track of a thing like that. It does some of them on the eastern side of the island, though, which is helpful. Because Old Kasudo should be right next to this level, basically.
Yep,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
right
here
there.
we go through the devil. That's gonna be Old Kasudo, and Valence will be able to get Fairy and start making progress on these palaces, assuming that the Moas let them through.
Yeah, I'm hoping they also get the medicine, because that's on that. It's in a cave just north of, pretty much straight north of Old Kasudo here. But they might not. Verifying Fairy is cast, but okay, they're gonna walk out. Check Thread Rock. I hope we check that bridge just north of here.
Ooh, Xarnax finding a loop here. Well, probably a loop. Yeah, definitely a loop.
That's a loop. And Valence not taking that bridge, missing the medicine, which we know is, I think is required for Thunder. Valence.
It's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
But P1's a good start. Should be quick.
Seems like boots aren't required or even super helpful once you get Fairy. They're not required, Patrick, but it has allowed Xarnax to spend a lot less time exploring the east. Valence was in here for a while trying to get around, and it's one of those islands. It's definitely not a... I mean, islands, biomes in general tend to be kind of rough without boots, and this one's no exception. But yeah, that is true. If you were right, you might not rush back to P6, as Valence does now know where to get into everything, except for that medicine, unless Fire is Thunder, which I don't actually know. Haven't seen Valence test it recently.
Yeah, and the thing that's a little awkward about P6 for Valence is that normally you could say, okay, I know GP is right next to start, so I can do palaces in kind of whatever order I feel like. I'm going to go back. I'm going to do all of the west, right? I'm going to get into the caldera, do the palace there, go to the other end of the caldera, and sort of just clear out the whole west at once. But because that caldera is a dead end, you sort of have to reset anyway. You don't really gain any efficiency by doing the whole west at once.
No, not particularly. Yeah, Valence knows where... With that fluid, Valence can get back to P2 and P4 pretty reasonably, because once they beat P1 right now, they can just head back east past the River Devil and go do both P2 and P4 from there. The question is whether or not they get the medicine.
Xarnax opting to show us a nice little Rebo Shark fight to get the item here for no reason.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this is for Xarnax. I guess hoping for the ending key, but Fairy's fairly cheap now.
You may not have recognized the room, but always good to see Rebo Shark in action.
Yep, always a sight for sure.
Yeah, this room, this is the anti-cheese room for Rebo as well, so Xarnax having to fight him fair and square.
Yeah. What's Valence going back into 1-4?
I don't know.
I know the medicine's not in here. They have it, that's in the east. I know the boots aren't in here because this is 6. Yeah, I don't know what Valence is doing in 1.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. Maybe they forgot about the boots. It looks like they didn't mark the boots hint on their tracker, so maybe they just forgot. But maybe they just think that finding an any key. I mean, this is P1,
I'm
so
fairly sure they peeked the boots from the northern side of the top side of that item room.
Oh yeah, Valence definitely saw the boots. Okay,
this
well,
might be a brain fart, admittedly, but in any case, it's an unhelpful one. Get out of here.
Thankfully, it's a quick one up. It's P1, so it didn't take too long. But unfortunately for Valence, they are behind by almost 3 whole palaces at this point, and need to put their foot on the gas.
Need to find the medicine too. This is their best chance for it right now. It's there is a bridge. It is the easternmost of the 3 northern bridges. It's not this one. It's the one just east of here. It looks like they've seen the cave. Good. They need to go there for their medicines. So that will at least be Valence caught up in terms of items, just behind on the palaces. Fire is presumably not Thunder, since they're going for this, I'd assume, as well.
Yeah, I don't think... Have we even seen a fire check? I don't...
They tested it when they first got in. I think they were just doing fireballs in that cave there. I don't know what that was. We know it's not fairy, it's not jump. I don't think it's shield. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, maybe if it's reflect, they could just say, okay, it's reflected. I don't care about it anymore.
They're gonna up A actually, then go back to P2 and P4 later. I guess beat P6 and hope we find the boots on the way, which...
Yeah, I mean, once you have the fairy spell, it's a lot easier. Unfortunately for Valence, it's a bit of a walk, and it's a bit of a walk straight left.
It is, as we are now into this 5-4 Xarnax.
Yeah, 5-6-6. Xarnax has got no life, no shield, if I'm correct. Maybe, I don't know if he did pick up shield while he was there in New Kasuto, but still, life 6, attack 5, 6 bars shouldn't be too much of an issue. Okay, let's get Thunder. It didn't quite catch what the cost was. Magic 4, 6 bars, likely to be enough, but not a guarantee. Thunder could be a bit of a troll sometimes. The vanilla cost doesn't actually go down from 128 until Magic 7, and so if you get real unlucky, it could be the case where even at 5 or 6 bars on Magic 6, you still just can't cast Thunder, and you have to go hunting for containers.
Mm-hmm. Like for Valence, starting in a trophy, I guess.
Yeah, but Xarnax just plowing through these palaces. Goomba's down, 1 palace left to go.
Just P3, which is on the maze. Xarnax, you probably should just update back, I think. He's the fastest way back there.
He may have forgotten where it is.
He might have forgotten where Vita was, maybe, because that's also down south. He hasn't turned that in yet.
Yeah, well, he needs to get into some kind of an encounter to finish taking this level, and then...
I guess that might be why he was doing that before up-Aing, yeah. I was wondering why he was still here, but no, he's not up-Aing. Xarnax?
It might be... So what happens sometimes is if Xarnax is thinking, okay, well, I need to go back to the west to clear the palaces. There were 3 palaces in the west. I just cleared 2 palaces. Where's the 3rd palace? Of course, forgetting that he cleared the 3rd palace, 20 minutes ago.
Or maybe, yeah, well, there's also just that GP, so the last one.
Oh, yes, sorry, GP is also the last one, but... Well, won't be too much longer, but this is time that Valence can spend catching up.
They are back in 6, so that is helpful.
We'll see if Valence takes the drop. Where's Valence going?
Valence, if
go
you
right?
remember, knows that the drop knows that the drop where the drop might go to, but yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things where Valence has seen quite a few rooms and only seen one drop exit room. So maybe they're... Oh, that's right. That left is just the dead end with a key.
Man.
Valence has to go down and then left.
Yeah, Xarnax is definitely lost. I'm not sure what they've lost. It's either Vito or GP or both, but they've definitely lost... He's definitely lost something here.
Yeah. We'll see. There's not that much west. He's already checked all over this northern section twice now, so hopefully we see an up A soon.
Yeah, the fact that he's still looking for caves tells me he might have forgotten the Maze Island connector.
But yeah, this is one of those things for Valence where, okay, Valence not taking the drop, but it's one of those things where you can, if you've seen quite a bit of the palace, you've only seen one drop exit room, and you've seen one drop entrance, you can kind of suss out that they probably connect to each other. So that could have saved, 2 or 3 rooms worth of folding left, but in the end, probably not a huge difference.
Yeah. Xarnax... Rando getting Xarnax here is I think he's finally realized, whatever it is I'm looking for is not up here, let's get me.
Yep, I mean, it could be the maze, it could be Mito, and both of those things...
are in the south.
Yeah, I say if it was Mito, then he's already found it.
Yeah, it's our next to start. Yeah, but this is one of those things where they both... It is right next to start and jump was early, so they haven't been here in quite a while, might have just, so probably just forgot it was right there, potentially. We know Valence took the down elevator here on the previous trip, so they're gonna do not that.
Yeah, they didn't check. There was a key door that I think they hadn't checked down, but it's sort of that path sucked. So I don't blame Valence for being like, oh, let me try this other path that maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. It's instead of the one that's definitely hot garbage.
Yeah, Xarnax is going. Definitely lost Maze Island because he's checking checking the trophy cave you left behind earlier.
Okay,
for a bit. It's not going to take him too long just because it is a caldera. He's already seen the entire northern side.
Yeah, he's already double-checked 75% of this continent, so there's not that much more to go.
It's the southern camp right here is where he needs to go. There we go. Unfortunately, the house is also in the clear other end of the map, and there's really no time saved to be had. You're just walking.
no easy boot shortcut. It's just a big linear path.
It really, really is. A little bit of a shortcut, but not. But you still have to walk most of the Maze Island. We're finally down for Valence. Gonna go back in for the item, I'm sure.
Yeah, and conveniently, a magic refill saves Valence from having to take a death there.
Always nice. I don't think the boots were too far from Barba, at least. That's my attack 5.
That's a strong attack 5 on Xarnax's side. Only 5 hits jackhammering that blue iron knuckle.
That's not bad, yeah.
At 5, 6, 7, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Xarnax just not gonna be getting that heart unless it's this elevator right here and he can just take it up A.
Speaking of elevator rooms, there it is for Valence, gonna finally pick up their boots 54 minutes in.
Yep, and
yeah,
definitely gonna take an up A. Probably clear the rest of these palaces here in the west while you're here.
May as well, and then head back east.
Okay, Xarnax he does accidentally find his way into it and decides to pick it up.
I guess while you're here.
Yeah. not a thing he's going to actively hunt for, but it's a free safety.
Up to 7 hearts, 5, 6, 7 should be plenty for Xarnax. Has a pretty sizable lead, but if GP goes horrendously, there's still a chance for valence.
Yeah, and if you think that you're ahead because, for example, you did an out of logic boots that made the East way easier, you might say, well, it's going to take me 30 seconds to get this heart, but I'm probably in the lead, and I just want to take something that's going to make my GP safer, more consistent.
Absolutely. I don't honestly remember how long any of these palaces were, and I don't think any of them were complete slogs.
Yeah, 6 was a little on the long side specifically for valence, because they took that down elevator. 5 was fast.
Yeah, because there's Guma, held right and you're done, apparently.
Yeah.
There's always that one in room in GP. That is true, Samu, with the, that is hard key lock. Yeah, hard requires a key because there's glow blocks on either side. That would be something to see, because we're missing a lot of items in our palaces. We saw one up in a palace I forgot. We know it was a heart and 3 boots and 6, and we haven't seen the rest. I forget which item had the one
up was in 1.
Thank you. We've seen all the items in the west, we've seen all 4 overworld items in the east, we haven't even physically located New Casino the town, never mind seen either of those items. We're missing Hammer Cave, who knows where on DM. And we've seen both items in Maze Island.
Nice. Attack 6, fairly cheap for Xarnax, so he manages to go up to 667. And yeah, we're going to see a sub-hour GP entrance. Is what you want to be looking at.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if the hard key blocked room shows up, I think Xarnax is going to go keep drop farming again, because it's not worth trying to find wherever the other key is, because it's not going to be a fun time to do that.
Even if there aren't, good farmable small enemies here in the palace, they'll just be able to walk outside. We know the small enemies in the west can drop keys, so... And given how many of them he was finding earlier, they're probably not that rare in the drop pool.
Yeah. You could say there was not flute locked. We saw Three-Eyed Rock earlier, and we saw the River Devil for some extensive previous discussion. Early chicken emoji room to start the palace, by the way. So I see chicken into orange tonight.
Valence getting pretty good corner strats on Guma. This is a safety strat. You sort of knock Guma into the wall, and it despawns the mace, and you can be a little slower but safer. Makes it through on the second try.
Does have enough magic for fairy, which is good because that was their last life. Just a couple bubbles in this waffles and syrup room, nothing too bad for Xarnax. And that was Valence's third try, by the way.
Okay, third try. Okay, as long as you don't take a game over, it's fine. You wouldn't want to take multiple game overs at Guma and lose a race by 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's for sure.
No one's ever done that before.
Definitely not. This is going to be back to Maison for P3 for them, it looks like.
And I think this is the first fork for Xarnax.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and he decides, I think this is good routing. Check down the elevator, see if something's there, but it's faster to go right here than right through that other room, so... Oof. This room sucks. Vertical bubbles, blue birds. Xarnax makes it through pretty clean, though.
Yeah. Another waffle room. Valence found is now into P3. I don't remember who designed the Venus raid. I noticed that she attacks with her hair, which is pretty neat.
That is very cool.
Or at least that's what replaces sword flashes for her. Down stab is still with the feet, more or less. Or it is with the feet, not still with the feet, right?
Xarnax trying twice to get the magic jump up to the the ledge. Makes it on the third jump. It's tricky.
It is. We're also running out of health, but he's also low on health here. Beep.
Yeah, hopefully he can find, okay, a red jar, but he did not go back and grab the life spell, so...
No, he didn't. Trying really hard to veil the Blue Knight there off, which he does.
Okay, another elevator to check. Looking for Thunderbird. Nope.
We've got options. Yikes.
Yeah, we've got 2 rights and 2 lefts here.
And I think there were some options where there was at least 1 fork further back, too. It's probably gonna be a loop in here somewhere, but,
Oh. And Xarnax uses a cast of jump to try and get a red jar, but did not succeed at the 50-50.
Yeah. And that was not a right. That room is Patrick notes. That was a fake out.
That's a fake out room. Okay, well. 1 right at 2 laps as Xarnax goes to take the other right. Oh, sorry, the actual right.
Yeah, upstab blocked for him as well. Valence getting hurt out of 3. Rebo shouldn't be far for Valence. Xarnax taking a death.
It's always annoying, the enemies that you get in these upstab rooms, just sort of camping out on the ledge and being like, I understand that you wanted to do this, but how about some damage?
Yeah. Ooh, that gets jump scared.
Yeah, speaking of fake outs. Oh, wow. Kingbot. I believe that was a second Kingbot in the room. And its sprite didn't render, but its hitbox did, because Kingbot is a very, very well-programmed enemy.
I was going to say, that's not something you see every day.
I believe that can only happen if the only enemy in the room is a Kingbot, and then you spawn another Kingbot.
Yeah. You know, instead of taking death there to get their magic back, to get through this room. Okay, P3 a bit longer than I originally thought, but there are 3 of those, so they'll be done shortly, and then 2 and 4 left.
Yeah, and this is the kind of GP that Valence needs in order to have a chance here. Real trolly, real windy, you know,
a lot of options.
Yeah, the kind of GP where, you know, the difference between taking the right turn and the wrong turn could be 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah, for sure, because Xarnax has been down this path for a little while now, and he's seen at least a couple forks that remain, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's kind of quickly approaching the point at which, if he finds a dead end, it'll be faster to just up A and go back to that place with the forks. Though life kind of changes that math a bit.
Yeah. This is pretty... Yeah, it's a dead end.
Speaking of dead ends... Okay,
I
like that he was checking to see if that was one of the versions of that room with a key, because he doesn't have a key for key required rooms, so that's a smart safety check.
That is true, yeah. Alright, Valence back on the east. Needs to just head east, literally. Both P2 and P4 are in the middle of the map. Valence, you don't need to take the Capacitor Cape. You've got boots.
Yeah.
It's east and south. East, south. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's basically straight east of where you come in, but you got to go around that mountain range.
Basically, yep. And then then the Valley of Death is basically straight south of here.
Meanwhile, as expected, this is an up A for Xarnax, right? Yeah. Oh, he hit the dead. Yeah. So he's gonna work his way back to those forks and pick a left.
Pretty much.
Valence also making the 3 square drop the first time and then casting Fairy afterward.
Did we see this down elevator here earlier, by the way, from Xarnax? I think he peeked. I don't think he actually took that.
He peeked, but he didn't take it. And yeah, he's thinking about his, like, why would I go back to those other forks when I could just take this one?
It's right next to start. If this isn't it, you can just continue after. You can obey and go back to the other forks, yeah.
Yeah, this is the kind of path that you're afraid of, though. You know, if Xarnax did go forth and go check those other two lefts, only to find that the correct answer was literally right here next to start, then it's the sort of thing that can lose you a race, even though you were way ahead going into GP. So
For sure. Jalen's taking drops into it. I don't remember if Xarnax is taking them particularly. I don't honestly recall where it is.
I believe this was required.
Okay.
Yeah, because Xarnax didn't have enough magic to cast jump in that key room, if I recall. I think you have to go right from that room, but I was gonna say Valen's gonna be able to pick up a key, but dropping down gonna need to cast jump.
Yeah, that's a loop, by the way, because this looks familiar.
Yeah, Xarnax getting getting trolled by this. Is this that same room or just another version of that room for Xarnax?
Looks like that block elevator room, but I might be mixing it up.
It's certainly the same room. Okay, so that means that this left is gonna be the way forward for Xarnax. I think he's checked every other path.
I think so, yeah. And here's Helmet Head for Valence. We've seen a pretty decent amount of this GP, I think, at the rate we're going. Another one of these rooms, this time right, so it's a downstab block.
Yeah, and here's Thunderbird. Xarnax, a few little missteps, getting off pattern a bit, a couple tube stabs going left, but pretty clean execution. And he's gonna get rewarded with full magic as well.
Valence perhaps still misremembering the entrance to the Valley of Death from the north side. No forced encounters, by the way, on that valley. Just walk straight through it. Always nice. On Xarnax's side, GP not yet over, so I don't think there's going to be a ton left in here at this point.
Yeah, he's shown us quite a few rooms already. Yeah. Ordinarily, once you find Thunderbird, you're hoping to find a fork, because there has to be somewhere for it to put the rest of the palaces, but we've seen the rest of the palace already. We're really, even if this path is linear, it could just lead straight into Darklink.
Yeah, apparently there's multiple rooms here. There's like another waffle, but we saw a lot of earlier rooms on those earlier forks, which did loop a little bit, but still.
Yeah, we only saw one dead end, so there could, I think, still be another dead end logic.
Maybe.
Unless I forgot one of them, but...
Well, here's
a fork. Here's the fork for Xarnax, and are we going to see at Arclink? We are.
Alright.
So that left, just from there, was the second dead end here in GP, and should be no problem for Xarnax at 667, basically full life. Are we gonna get? Yeah, this is the thing. Xarnax. Oh, okay, Xarnax will occasionally fight Darklink in the as intended method, but just pulling Dark Zelda over into the corner here, and we're gonna stab out her knees.
And that's GG's here to Xarnax. Gonna finish up Swiss with a freak rate of 3 and 2 with a time of 1:08:43. And understandably, Valence has decided that it's time to quit. Valence will be joining us for an interview, not sure yet on Xarnax, but we'll waiting for them to join the waiting room. And we'll see what they thought about this seat. Big difference, really, was just taking that 6, which was a function of Xarnax getting those keys early, because Valence did not. As we are joined here by Valence, GG.
GG's. boy, that was a seat.
Yeah, it was a rough one for you. Unfortunately, what the race ended up coming down to was after you both clear out the west, finished full clearing it, basically the same time. But then Xarnax took an early trip into out of Logic 6 because he had 3 keys that had dropped. Whereas you went east right away, and it took Xarnax a while. At one point, he had to farm some respawning enemies looking for his last key, but he did manage to get those boots out of Logic early, and that let him skip exploring basically the entire east as we welcome Xarnax in.
Good game, Xarnax.
Thanks, GG Valence.
Yeah, as we were saying, you getting those out of Logic boots really blew the whole seat open because Villain spent a lot of time looking for things in the maze and a little bit of DM and manually checking the east, and Xarnax, you sort of hit the east and just immediately blew it away.
Yeah, I got the boots in so early, and then the keys in the drop pool, I was like, if I can get these, I have to. And it was actually, it was pretty crazy because like when I was committed to that, I still hadn't even seen that it was Islands East. And then as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, this was so worth it.
Oh, you hadn't seen it? Oh, I thought you had. But yeah, it didn't help Valence that, unfortunately, Valence missed just that. Because Old Casino was on the eastern end of that island, straight south of the raft tile, and just on the other side of the River Devil, and Valence just didn't go far east enough to see it, unfortunately.
I saw Three-Eyed Rock. I saw that, but I didn't see the town right next to it.
You didn't walk far east enough for it to register on your brain, I guess. If it was even on screen, I'm not sure.
I don't know if I saw it but I'm like, okay, there's Three-Eyed Rock, and then I missed I think Medicine was in the cave up there.
It was just
too,
north of it. Yeah,
I just bounced out early, and I'm just like, what is wrong with me? You did this twice. I did this in another race where I just needed to go north a little bit, and I didn't, and I missed a town, and I had to go back. I did it again.
I've done it many times. It's not a good feeling.
Yeah, Valence ended up taking DM instead, found the flute in there, kind of buried in the southeast corner. Did not find Hammer Cave. I'm not sure where it is. But that at least got you back to check the River Devil Valence, and the River Devil was on the other side of Old Casino, so that worked eventually, I guess.
He was doing his job. And then I saw Three-Eyed Rock. I'm like, oh no. Uh-oh, I saw this before. No.
Yeah, today's one of the better days for me and my sense of direction, which is generally hot garbage, so I thought the spacing of the east was such that the River Devil was just the other side of that island, straight south from start.
Yeah,
but it's always hard to be sure.
I thought there was more space in between that western part and eastern part where you took the connector cave to P2. I thought that was a bigger gap instead of no, they were just kind of. But I didn't have the boots, and I didn't have any keys. I couldn't find the any key. Didn't find Fairy. Went into P6 twice. All the other palaces were kind of fine, but
yeah.
It would have been awesome for you if Three-Eyed Rock had actually been important.
That was my goal. I'm like, all right, I found the flute because I had the hint for flute and DM. It's like, well, it's right there.
Oh man. The other thing that saved me a ton of time, I just got super lucky. My first pass through the west, I went up and saw there's a town, here's another town, there's another town, and I kept getting drawn up, and I ended up missing Trophy Cave, which had the glove.
We noticed.
Oh.
So I full cleared the west except for that cave, and then I was like, I don't want to walk around looking for somewhere where I'm not sure where it is. I've got plenty of checks on the east. First, as soon as I go to the raft tile, that was my first time leaving the west. I hit the raft tile, immediately see which town was it? Darunia, and there's a hint for the glove right there. I'm like, there's only one check left in the west.
Where was any key? Did you find that?
We
Never-
do not know.
I never found it.
Okay.
It's we saw almost everything else. It could have been Hammer Cave, of all things.
Been 2 or 5.
Yeah, I don't think we saw the. I don't think we saw the item in 2. So. Also, I don't think either of you checked New Kazuto, so.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Could have been hanging out there, but who knows where that was? Probably hiding.
Yeah, I suspect it might have been. I think P2 and the Valley of Death were basically both in the middle of the map, I think, on the east, and then New Kazuto somewhere off to the eastern side of it. Who knows where, but I might be wrong on that.
That sounds right.
Was anything? Was it interesting?
It was pretty interesting in the sense that there were. There were a couple branches and a large loop. So like I got to a dead end after probably it felt like 20 plus rooms. And then when I backtracked, took my first left or down that I didn't take the first time through, and then ended up getting taken back very close to where I up and A'd the first time. It was a different path that led near the end of my first trip, and I'm pretty sure I full cleared it. It was it wasn't, other than that, it wasn't terribly notable. I guess it had some upstab and an upstab block, I think.
I think it was both up and down stab block, potentially.
Yeah. I don't remember if that was on the actual necessary path, though.
Well, down and up stab are basically free today.
Yeah.
Just need a magic 2 and you can get it.
Yeah. I up made to get.
Good.
Yeah, I remember up and A'ing as soon as I got jump, and then fair. What was it? Jump.
Yeah, it's jump.
I'm thinking of something else. Was jump? Oh, right. Yeah, I got jump and then up and A'd, and then immediately saw that I couldn't cast it.
Yeah, I checked. I'm like 69. Come on.
Yeah.
Not nice.
Because I wanted to immediately just go get it, and it's like, well, I guess I got
exact.
And then there was like hardly
I did
anything.
the exact same thing.
I'm like, might as well go look at cave. And then I found P6 in the caldera. I just didn't go in it because I'm like, I don't have any keys. This would be really foolish if I went in here without any keys.
Yeah.
Even though the boots were there.
That was another big stroke of luck for me. I saw 6 in the caldera from the north. And really, I had basically full cleared the east. I would not have even checked it if I didn't have a handful of keys, because there was no reason for me to go into a palace otherwise. I was thinking maybe if it's 1, I can clear it out, but I wanted to know what it was, and I would not have gone in there for the boots nearly as early if I didn't have the keys to just push me to go and look into it.
Yeah.
And that start was hilarious, though.
It was a weird start. Pretty quick.
Yeah, all the towns just town.
Every town.
GP, hammer, glove, and then the only 3 caves you can get to are all 3 pass-throughs. The shortest one requires the hammer.
That was funny. We're like, okay.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Amusing.
So that's the end of Swiss for you two. Valence, you're at 2 and 3. Xarnax at 3 and 2. How do either of you feel about brackets? Anyone you're looking forward to facing?
I'm looking forward to conquering Candleless. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I am
Dark
familiar.
caves. That's going to be my enemy in brackets is dark caves.
I can never get enough competition with some Elendar guy.
Yeah, it's we've never faced each other in the Swiss and then subsequently in the brackets before.
That's
You know.
true.
Certainly not 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I'll need to try and make that happen. 3 and 2 might help a little bit. Might be able to win 1 or 2 in the brackets if I'm lucky.
Yeah, I'm not actually sure. I know there's going to be, I think, 1 or 2 3-2s who get the bye. I'm not sure what the process is for getting the bye.
I did the math earlier. Everyone at 5-0 and 4-1 will have a first round bye, and it will be 2 3-2s. So depends on tie breaks. TAH knows the specifics. Right. I'm not going to get into that, but most of the 3-2s are going to be playing in the first round. But we'll see, and we'll see how the bracket shakes up from there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah.
With you both on that. I do think
It will be a little different playing with real stakes, though.
Yeah, as real as stakes can be in a tournament with no prize aside from bragging rights.
Right. I mean, you're fighting for your life instead of a seed.
That is true, I suppose. Yeah. Oh, hi ZSR main, ready with party of 92. Yeah, we just wrapped.
We've got more races later in the day, though.
We do. I guess not sure if Golden wants to do the outro, but at least give our runners here a follow. Xarnax and valence, as well as my co-com Elendar, and thank you to Kajak for doing the tracking. Looks like Golden has unmuted, so I'll let him take over for reading off the schedule for today, and we'll be seeing y'all soon, though. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, Star. So we will be on main ZSR in about an hour and a half with the 4-0 match in Swiss Round 5, and then there's also going to be a Wind Waker randomizer race here around the same time on ZSR 2. Thank you everyone for watching, and have a good night. We're going to go raid Cubs Rule 21, who's one of the ZSR staff members. And thanks everyone for watching.
Bye.